Hi, good morning. I'm Mark McVitie from LEBC Group. Here to talk to you this morning about the issue of financial capability in long-term relationships. So just first a bit of background as to who we are. LEBC is a national financial advice firm. We work with individuals and companies to help them achieve financial goals. We've got 16 offices up and down the country, 18 years of experience in the business, and over 200 staff working day in, day out, creating bespoke financial solutions for our clients. Up there you can see a selection of some of the corporate clients we work with. That should give you an idea of the scope of our business. So what's the issue that we're addressing today? And that is, well, as we all know, people are born, they grow up, and very often they fall in love, couple up, they have adventures together, they make commitments to one another, buy houses together, start families together, and hopefully they grow old together. The sad part, though, is that unfortunately a couple of the issues later in life that people cannot face together are the severe cognitive decline in one partner due to dementia, say, and of course death. It's just simply a fact that in the vast majority of all relationships, one partner is going to die before the other. And once people have formed the kind of dependencies on one another that are brought about by the sharing of roles in long-term relationships, the loss of that one person can have a really devastating impact on the remaining partner, and that's very often the case when it comes to finances. At LEBC, when we're dealing with clients who've been recently bereaved, we often find it to be the case that it's one particular partner in a relationship who takes the bulk of the responsibility for financial matters. If you yourselves think about possibly parents or grandparents, you might be able to think about one individual within that relationship who takes on the vast majority of those financial responsibilities. And it can be particularly true of the older generation with traditional gender roles and so on. So when it's that partner that's passed away, the other partner can often find it very difficult to cope when they're all of a sudden hit with all these roles that they previously have very little experience with. And it's a really difficult issue because it's only natural for people in long-term relationships to share those responsibilities over the course of a life together. But when we see cognitive impairment or death come around, it is the one partner who's left often to pick up these responsibilities, and that can have a really far-reaching impact, not just into their own lives, but then laterally into the lives of loved ones when we've got financial instruments that are just so complex for them that they end up being forgotten or mismanaged to the point where the wealth that's previously been saved with the intention of being passed on ends up being lost. So at LEBC we see a lot of situations in which bereaved husbands or wives are thrown into a complex web of bank accounts, pensions, loans, insurance policies, and more, when they've had virtually no experience of dealing with these complex financial matters in the past. And that can be very, very difficult for them to manage. And in actual fact, we often find that this remaining partner can even have a lot of trepidation about approaching a financial advisor due to the fact that they've just got no experience in that department either. So there's a fear of being embarrassed, and the stress simply of being bereaved is a lot to deal with as well. So just some numbers to illustrate this issue. The ONS estimates that 64.8% of the UK adult population are in long-term financially dependent relationships. So if we take that number of the whole UK adult population is around 50 million people. So if we take that as a percentage, that's about 33 million people that we're talking about here. So you see the scope. And the ONS also estimates that there are 500,000 deaths each year in England and Wales. So if you look at those numbers in comparison, you can see that this is an issue which is affecting hundreds of thousands of people every single year. On top of that, we've also got the figure that 1 in 6 people over the age of 80 will suffer from dementia. That just adds to the complexity of this problem. And as we all know, with dementia and other diseases like Alzheimer's, once those issues take hold, it's very hard to make any progress. So all of that contributes to this number, which is the estimated £15 billion in unclaimed assets that are believed by the Treasury to be dormant in the UK financial system. That seems like a very big number, but that's not surprising to us because we do see a lot of older people living frugally with the intention of saving to pass it on, only for this then to get lost. And the IFS recently released a report which suggests just this to be the case. So in essence, what we're saying is if you could help us to do something to make it easier for vulnerable individuals who are left behind in these circumstances to be kept informed prior to the acute period where the partner is actually passed on, and to assist in that most acute time period. As advisors, we can be very clear that this is an issue which makes it very difficult for us to get the best outcomes for our clients. So we're certainly very interested in hearing any innovative solutions that you all will have to this issue. Thank you.